In my quest to watch as much of this Korean actor's work as I possibly can, because he's just such a fabulous dramatic actor, I'm dipping my toe into Korean film. Unsurprisingly, the magician follows a magician as he falls in love with a lady in the princess's procession, unbeknownst to him that this lady is not simply one of the many ladies in waiting, but the princess herself. As their innocent and truly charming romance develops, horrors from the magician's childhood seek their vengeance. Seeing as I'm already on the topic, let's talk about the villain first. Our introduction to the villain is that of a murder after murder in service of a trick. So the film really makes good on that high stakes promise. He too is a magician, and while I didn't get as much like magician versus magician trickery as I would have loved, he truly is a intimidating presence that serves to charge every scene that he's in with the threat of violence. I was genuinely concerned for our leads. While there are a handful of other supporting characters that, do get a fair bit of screen time and they are likable, the only one of note that I'm going to talk about is this blind fortune teller healer lady, also a singer, and if that sounds convoluted and kind of confusing, it's because it is. After watching the movie, I'm still unsure of what her purpose was to the story, and I'd wager that the writers are confused as well. She and the magician have, spent a lot of time together, having escaped an awful situation as children, and since then have been traveling around singing while he performs magic tricks, except for their dynamic is incredibly stiff. I don't get the impression that they're familial, like they don't have a brother-sister bond, and also it's too cold to be romantic, so me as the viewer, I don't know what they meant to each other, and because of that confusion, I ended up becoming really ambivalent to her character, and when she eventually dies, that emotional scene, it's obvious that it was supposed to be emotional, doesn't hit home. On to the romance, and like I mentioned earlier, it was really sweet. I loved seeing how their friendship and eventually romantic relationship affected each of them personally, the princess becoming a much more assertive person, while the male lead, the magician, he gets a new lease on life. And while neither character was really given a overly dramatic arc that would warrant, a fabulous acting scene, I did believe both of the actors in their roles. Technically, I thought the magician was very well done. Standout aspects for me was the set design and color grading. Inside the theater, hues of yellow and red are really magnified to give it a warm and sultry feel to it. So pleasing to my eye. I really, really loved those scenes. And when our lovebirds are outside, the natural colors are turned up to like an 11. The vibrancy gives it such a dreamlike feel, which I think was supposed to reflect, like the excitement and ecstasy of first love. What I enjoyed most about The Magician was actually the backstage elements. It's like I was getting to peek behind the curtain of this grand production, and I loved seeing the engineering that goes behind these magical tricks, because in this show they were, performances. There was no magical element to them. And what I really appreciated is those technical workings behind each trick actually played crucial parts in the third act, a fact that I found extremely satisfying. The ending, however, leaves much to be desired. I found it extremely anticlimactic, and it does a narrative switch that, to me, just like, whoa, felt so out of nowhere. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about, and I would have much preferred, if they were going to do what they did, they should have set it up in the beginning so that it could have felt full circle, whereas the way it is now, it feels super jarring and out of place. All in all, I'll give The Magician a solid 3 stars. It was a fun time for, I think it was about 2 hours. Overall, I'm extremely impressed with the Korean films that I've actually sat down to watch. This and Train to Busan are the only two, and both I enjoyed, so I think I'm going to start reviewing more movies on this channel. Alright, that's it for me. Have a good day, have a good night, bye.